I've quit saving money twice. Not because I didn't know how, not because I couldn't do the math. I quit because saving felt worse than being in debt. And I know how backwards that sounds. Debt is the one with interest and late fees and that little email that starts with, "Just a reminder." But emotionally, debt felt normal. Saving felt like someone turned off the music and took my snacks. If you've ever started a budget, done everything right, and still felt kind of bad about it, irritated, empty, like you're punishing yourself for no reward, that's not a discipline problem. That's your brain doing something very specific. There are 4 reasons your brain fights you when you start saving, and a point where it actually stops. Let me walk you through all of it. Your brain flags saving as a loss immediately. There's this thing economists Kahneman and Tversky found called loss aversion. A loss feels about 2.25 times worse than a same-size gain feels good. So if you move $200 out of checking, your body doesn't go, security. It goes, something just got taken. And in real life, that's exactly what it feels like. Checking to savings doesn't feel like progress at first. It feels like gone. Like you just made your life smaller on purpose. I remember the first time I pushed $200 to my savings account. I opened my banking app 3 more times that day, just staring at my checking balance like it was personally mad at me. It looked too low, even though I hadn't actually lost anything. And it gets worse because the pain of paying is literal. Brain scans show the same region that processes physical pain lights up when something feels too expensive. So no, it won't automatically feel good just because it's the responsible choice. Your body is not measuring responsible, it's measuring loss. You can be doing the right thing and still feel bad about it. That's normal. But loss aversion is only one piece of it. The other reason saving feels so flat? You're giving up a kick you didn't even know you had. Most of the feel-good from spending isn't the thing you bought, it's the lead-up, the wanting, the scrolling, the add to cart, the little fantasy version of you who's about to be more organized, hotter, and suddenly into Pilates. That's the dopamine part, anticipation, not ownership. I know this because in my debt era, I used to lay in bed and build these perfect Target carts. Sometimes I didn't even hit buy. Just assembling it felt like something. Then, if I did buy it, the package showed up, I opened it, and nothing. The high was already gone. And just looking is extra dangerous because it's unpredictable. Maybe you find a deal, maybe you don't. Your brain loves that. It's basically a tiny slot machine you can carry in your pocket. So when you start saving, you're not just spending less. You're cutting off your brain's fastest source of stimulation. Of course it feels flat. Of course you're restless. You took away the thing that made boring Tuesday nights bearable, and you replaced it with a number in an app that barely moves. Plus, saving is weird because you're saving for future you, and future you doesn't feel like you. Researchers found we picture our future self almost like a stranger, so it can feel like you're donating money to someone you don't even know. That's not laziness, that's time distortion. Now wins by default. But when people get better at connecting with their future self, they save 30 to 40% more. So this is fixable. Still, the brain stuff isn't even the hardest part. There's something deeper that nobody really talks about. When you cut spending, you're not just deleting transactions. It can feel like you deleted a version of yourself. Because a lot of us built identity through money. I'm spontaneous, I'm generous, I'm the friend who brings the bottle of wine. I work hard, I deserve a little treat. And whether we admit it or not, we prove that to ourselves by swiping a card. So when you start saving and you say no more often, it doesn't just feel like I'm being responsible. It can feel like, who am I now? And if saving is only framed as deprivation, as the thing you can't do anymore, your brain goes looking for a way back to a version of you that felt good. That's why a lot of relapses aren't laziness, they're identity repair. It's you trying to feel like you again. And that just this once moment almost never happens when you're calm. It happens when you're tired or bored or someone asks, "Want to come out tonight?" And you hear yourself say yes before your budget even crosses your mind. Because saying no doesn't just cost money you don't spend, it costs the feeling you used to have about yourself. I'm curious, what version of you did you miss the most when you started saving? For me, it was the one who could casually say yeah to last-minute plans without doing mental math first. Tell me in the comments. I actually read them. So now you know what's working against you. Your brain registers saving as a loss, you lost your fastest mood regulator, and your identity feels like it's buffering. That combo creates something I call the gray zone. It's those weeks, sometimes a couple months, after the first "I'm getting my life together" burst, but before you can actually see results. Nobody posts, "Day 47, I didn't buy anything and I feel medium." But that's real life for most people. Around 70% of people who set savings goals quit before the year's over. Not because they're weak, because nobody warned them the middle looks like this. And here's why it gets dangerous. Frugal living takes constant mental work. Planning meals, saying no, checking prices, reminding yourself why you're doing this. That's tiring. And when you're tired, impulse buys start looking like emotional relief. Not because you're weak, because your brain wants a break from being the budget police. Watch for the warning signs. You stop tracking just for a few days. You're snippy with people for no reason. And you start thinking, honestly, I don't even care anymore. That's usually right before the spending fireworks show. My survival tactic is a pressure valve, a small, no-guilt category, 10 to 20 bucks a month. For me, it's iced coffee. Yes, I could make it at home, but that $15 a month has saved me from blowing $150 on nonsense more times than I can count. If this is helping you hang on through that gray stretch, hit like or subscribe. No sponsors here, just what actually worked for me. Because the gray zone does have an ending, and it's closer than you think. The reason saving feels so rough at first is the same reason spending stopped being exciting after a while. Your brain adapts. Scientists call it hedonic adaptation. Basically, your brain adjusts to whatever your normal is. Whether that normal is Target runs and DoorDash, or Aldi and a boring little savings transfer. And no, it doesn't happen in 21 days. That number comes from a plastic surgeon in the 1960s who noticed patients got used to their new nose after a few weeks. That got twisted into a self-help rule, and now everyone thinks, if it's not easy by day 21, I failed. Real habit research says it averages around 66 days, and the range is wild, 18 to 254. So if you're on day 30 and you still feel cranky, congrats, you're extremely normal. Don't look for a deadline, look for markers. The resistance gets quieter. Decisions stop being dramatic. You walk past something you would have bought 6 weeks ago, and instead of feeling deprived, you feel kind of proud. You stop negotiating with yourself over $12 like it's a Supreme Court case. And the real payoff isn't excitement, it's peace. 63% of Americans say money stress has kept them up at night. The win isn't a number in an account. The win is when you open your banking app and just think, we're okay. Patrick asked me the other day if we could afford new tires, and I just said, yeah, it's in the budget. No stomach drop, no mental math spiral, just an answer. That moment, that quiet, is what 5 months of gray bought me. So if you're in week 3, week 6, month 2, and it's still uncomfortable, you're not failing. You're in the part that feels like this. Don't quit in the exact chapter that's designed to test you. I quit twice right there. The third time, I just sat through it, and it finally got lighter.